Hey guys, Chris and PJ here live in the Dream Giveaway Garage.
Hello, Christopher.
Great weekend down here in Florida. Hope you guys had a great weekend as well. And did you catch the awards ceremony last Friday at noon Eastern Time? Gave away that BMW M4. And the winner drove all the way back to the great state of Oklahoma. PJ, have you heard from him?
I actually haven't.
You haven't?
No, we did hear from a different winner. We heard from our truck winner, the
F100?
the Nissan truck winner.
Oh, the Nissan truck winner.
Yeah,
That's correct. And he loves all the Napier products that were included with that grand prize package, right?
Yeah, he was ready to go camping.
There you go. Camping time, summer 2023, right?
That's right, and I think Kathy put something up on Facebook today about that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So if you guys were watching live, there was a glitch that happened towards the very, very end of that award ceremony in which you didn't get to see the winner fire up the BMW.
But you can watch that on our YouTube channel.
It's fixed on the YouTube channel? Okay, great. So you can watch it on YouTube if you'd like to see it. Today, I've got to tell you guys that we have 2 giveaways ending soon. 3 days from today, the Indian motorcycle, and I just received a telegraph. Do you guys know what a telegraph is? From Western Union.
You're dating yourself.
On that telegraph, it told me that Ryan from the Dream Giveaway Garage will be firing up that Indian motorcycle for us on Thursday. So I thank Ryan for doing that. He never comes on camera, so we're excited to see him firing it up. The last day to enter the Indian motorcycle is Thursday. Why am I standing in front of this Hellcat Jailbreak that Don Garlitz drove? Because that ends in 15 days, 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we haven't spent a whole lot of time in the cabin where Don Garlitz sat when he took it down the 1320 at the Gator Nationals. So that's what we're going to do today. PJ, who's out there watching?
Roger's giving us the old LOL.
Well, Roger, I know why you're LOLing, Roger. There you go. All right, PJ, let's walk on over to the Hellcat.
All right. Raymond wants to know where we were on vacation last week. We know broadcast Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday afternoon, but we did the Friday ceremony, but that was about it.
We did the Friday ceremony, that's correct.
Jesus wants to know, does the Jailbreak ride smooth or bumpy, Chris?
I've driven it. It actually drives pretty darn smooth. PJ, I'm going to have to move this signed helmet, but let's show this off. Signed by, autographed by, embellished by Big Daddy Don Garlitz. And on the flip side, Leah Pruitt, Queen of Speed, NHRA top fuel driver. That is so cool. I'm going to put this all the way back here if I can. How about right there, PJ?
All right.
That work? Come on in. Come on in. All right. We're going to talk about the apps, and we're going to talk about the SRT pages on here. And I remind you guys that the speedometer on this is 220 miles per hour. Please do not try that on a surface road, public street. That is for track use only.
Chris, there's a lot of blue on your feet here.
Oh, here's why. Because this is the accessory lighting from American Carcraft, right? It's right down here. And this is so fantastic. You can see the lighting here. So as long as that door is open, PJ, it's set up to the dome light.
Oh, nice.
Or dome lights, I should say, as well as, what do they call these? Map lights, right?
That's right.
I think they still call them that these days. Anyway, so as long as that door is open, you're going to get this mood lighting here.
Beautiful.
That's from American Carcraft. There's equally cool lighting underneath the hood. We've shown that to you before. So, magic keys, red and black. Red is the one, no black key on the Jailbreak. Red key, that is the black key for the lighting underneath the hood. So if I try to just turn on here, I will get a display. But if to go into that SRT mode or the SRT dashboard, and that's what we'll be talking about today, I have to have the engine running. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, all right? Nice idle there. And then there's 2 ways to get in there. I can hit this, I can hit that on there, or I can hit all the way down here on the SRT button down here.
What does the SRT button do, Chris?
Oh, it brings you up to all these different controls that you can program for how you want the vehicle to perform and how you want it to behave, right? Because you want your car to perform well and you want it to behave well. So most guys will just keep it in sport. And what does that mean to us? You've got full 807 horsepower. You've got the transmission on sport, and that, what does that do? That changes the shift points and the firmness of the shift points. It means your paddle shifters are on, and your traction, suspension, and steering, which are all electronically controlled, are in sport mode.
I like how it's all in red or orange.
Yeah, well, you can see when it's in red, that means that you're getting the maximum out of it. So you're getting the full power 807. So let's do this. Before I show you track mode, I'm going to show you a couple cool things. There's always been questions about the valet mode. So to enter the valet mode, you have to have a pin, just like a 4-digit pin. I'm not going to activate one now. From what I read on the internet, that keeps us at 300 horsepower. So if you're at a hotel and you're dropping it off, you can punch in your code. It drops the horsepower down to 300. And then when you get your car back from the valet, you punch your code back in and you get your horsepower back. But that's not the only horsepower limiting that we have here through these apps. There's also something that's called Eco. Function only available in auto mode. So let's go over here to auto mode.
That's a lot of green now,
That's
Chris.
a lot of green. Oh, and I know you guys don't like green, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. So when in eco mode, you're limited to 500 horsepower. I mean, that's still a heck of a lot of horsepower, but it's not the full 807, right? So when do you use eco mode? When you want to get 20 to 22 miles per gallon. That's what the eco mode does. And what does it do? It really changes. It also, not only does it lower the horsepower to 500, and again, that's no big deal, but it changes the transmission so that the shifts come sooner. So you get into those overdrive gears quicker. And once you're in those overdrive gears, then you're getting better economy out there. PJ, who's out there today?
Well, as Kathy says, it's miles per smile. Miles per mile.
Miles per gallon, right?
That's right.
Yeah, in the old days, when you used to see the actual fuel gauge go down like this while you were driving an old Dodge Big Block, we used to say gallons per mile. Anybody remember that?
That's funny.
But anyway, so there's the eco mode on here. And so eco mode has traction at street, suspension at street, but steering at sport. So now let's go back in here to track. Oh, what are you seeing now,
It is all
everybody?
red now.
They're all red, yeah. So here are all the big track settings here.
Is this what Don Garlitz would have used the day that he took this down Gainesville?
Absolutely what Don Garlitz would have used when he took it down in Gainesville.
Puts it in track mode.
Absolutely. Now there's even more options. Even from track mode, there's more options. You go into race options here, and you see you got launch control. So you've got a line lock. You can see the line lock's ready. You can activate it. We're inside, so I'm not going to activate the line lock control, but that's where you activate it. There's also launch control. So what RPM do you care to launch at? 2,500 is max. Remember when you guys used to put a 2,500 RPM stall converter in an automatic car? So for getting down that off that launch, well, same thing here.
You mean the car won't launch until you get to the right RPM?
That's correct. Yeah, so you set launch control where you want, it'll get the RPM there, and then boom, there it goes. Now the other thing is, ever see people put a big bag of ice on top of a supercharger after a run? Well, why would they do that? Well, to cool down the supercharger for the next run. Well, they already have that built in here, right?
There's a chiller already built in?
Call the chiller already built in. So you got to make sure that your air conditioning is off when you use it. But that will go ahead and lower the temps on your supercharger. That in red, that's your supercharger, of course. Okay, we also have a shift light here. That's very, very cool. That shows in the cluster. And then you have a race cool down. And that'll cool the intercooler.
This is all inside the car. This
all
is
inside
insane.
the car, all electronic. This is how far technology has come on modern muscle cars.
Chris, this is the first time that actually I've seen this.
Really?
Yeah, because I haven't watched you do any of this. But I'm blown away by the fact that you can actually have all of this inside a car that you're going to just drive down the road to go get groceries.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, most of the stuff you would only use in a closed course, a drag strip, maybe a road course, maybe a standing mile course, right? If you're trying to see what your fastest velocity could be, right? So now there's other apps in here as well, but let's get out of race cool down for a moment and out of race options. And so you can customize. So Dodge knows, see how it just got quieter?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go to custom and you can do a custom setup. And you can say, okay, well, I'd like the 807, but I would like a sport feel to the trans. I'm not using paddle shifters. The traction I would like to be sport, but the suspension I'd like to have track. The steering I'd like to have street, and then it saves.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
You can kind of mix and match those settings to suit your driving style or your driving environment. So that's super, super cool as well. Now there's a ton of other apps here on this big screen here. We're not going to go through them today, but they have to do with comfort and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So you got your driver's heating and cooled, your passenger heating and cooled, your projection manager, your Wi-Fi hotspot.
This is not just your regular infotainment center here.
No, because most infotainment centers won't have those SRT pages that we just showed you guys. And then you have your performance pages on over here. You know, I tried this before, and maybe because we're inside, it was giving me a problem loading, so I don't know if it's going to come up while we're live on here. But there's performance pages on there. There you go. So this will give you've got timers and gauges and a G-force, engine and dyno. And so say you're coming off of that line and you'd like to know how many horsepower you have at that exact moment. You can view it there, see what gear you're in, so on and so forth.
Well, Raymond just asked, is there a timer to measure your quarter mile time?
They're right here. So you go under timers. And see right there, the exact same thing that you'd get on that little slip, right? On your ET slip, when you come back around to the front of the line after doing a quarter mile pass, all that information that you'd get on that slip of paper, you can get right here on this app. Very cool. Engine, very cool.
Hey, just want to know, is there transmission cooling and differential? So I'm assuming.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You even have a dyno.
What?
You even have a dyno, so when you're really launching, you can see your horsepower and you can see your torque on a curve.
Now imagine taking your buddy out and say, hey, let's jump into this
Let's
Hellcat.
jump in the dyno.
Yeah, that's right. And just...
Right, it's all built in. It's just so cool. And of course there's navigation, there's phone controls, so on and so forth. So there, I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so there you guys go. There's an overview of the SRT pages and
just give you a look of what the console looks like here. That Chris,
yeah,
if you're sitting in the driver's seat.
Remember, there's the SRT. You can get to it there. You can get to the launch right here. There's your AC buttons right there.
Not a white shifter down here,
no. Automatic here. Your front and your rear defrosters. Your AC up and down over here for the passenger. Dual zone climate control here as well. And I've got to point out this Drake steering wheel. I was talking to Lori about it, and everybody is just digging this wheel. It's such an amazing wheel. From NHRA stars to regular folks driving these cars, they all say, man, what an incredible wheel this is. So remember, you've got 15 days left to enter to win. On this, 3 days left to enter to win on the Indian Motorcycle. PJ, let's give some shout outs and let's wrap it up.
Well, the Mad Piranha gives a shout out, I think, to the Tesla, right? It should be a button at the ludicrous speed.
Yeah, no ludicrous button on here. But that 807 is available to you all day long as you have it set
I like the fact that you can do the valet key programming wise compared to having a separate key. Because I mean, honestly, who's going to bring two keys with them?
Right. They used to do that, the red key and the black key, but these days they just give you the red key and you set the valet through the app. And here's what's interesting. Do you guys realize that Hellcats now go all the way back to 2015? So this is what, the 8th, the 9th year?
And didn't we do a Hellcat X?
We did a Hellcat X back in 2015. So Hellcats have been around for a long time now. And you guys have 15 days left to enter to win on this one. I promise you, as soon as we got word from Dodge that the Hellbee is in production, we hope to have it here sometime next month. As soon as it's here, we'll give you guys some information on that. And by then, we'll know who won this Jailbreak Challenger. Remember, the Hellbee coming up will be a Charger Hellcat, not a Challenger.
Mike Brown says to win that car Big Daddy and Leah Pruitt drove would be dreamy.
Yeah, dreamy, and groovy. There you go. All right, guys, we got a big week here. And PJ, aren't we calling a winner of something or another this week?
I think we've got 2 days left, or 3 days left before we call the winner of that 64 Fuelie.
If you're Black Corvette, we're going to call that winner on Thursday. You guys stay tuned for that. We'll see you next time. More great fun, more great action, more great grand prizes. It only happens here in our favorite place on earth, the Dream Giveaway Garage, and heck, right here in the Don Garlett's driven Challenger Jailbreak SRT Hellcat
Red Eye
Wide Body Red Eye AEIOU.
And maybe yours.
Maybe yours. We'll see you guys tomorrow.